So our guest right now is Amanda Jean. Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're looking very fabulous, by the
Thank
way.
you very much.
I'm feeling like I'm underdressed next to you now. You look so fab.
Well, see, when I heard I was going to come talk to you, I said to my hairstylist, oh my God, I'm doing this interview. I need to really bring it.
Well, you brought it, so you can tell your hairstylist, good job. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. Trying to keep cool, but doing well.
Amazing. And before we launch ourselves into like the very specificity of your lovely art, is this your first Montreal en Or?
It is. This is actually my first show at all, showing my work ever, so it's pretty big.
It's your first exposition ever?
Yeah.
Congratulations! And what made you decide to jump on board with this amazing festival?
Well, I hadn't heard of it before because I'm not from Montreal.
Okay.
If you can tell from my accent. But I live up in Quebec City, so I was looking for anything in Quebec, and this popped up, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be in the city, I want to be showing my work, and thought it'd be a great excuse to come down and have a little vacation away from my kids too. So
So this is the truth. It's to run away from the children, folks.
that's why I paint.
That's why you become an artist. That's why you throw yourself into your emotional imbalances and you explore the darkness of your soul, is to escape your kids. It's the only reason.
Well, I mean, and to show a good example on how to be an adult. I'm setting examples for my daughters.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So, you are a painter,
I am.
but you are a painter now because
Yes.
by training, you're a photographer, correct?
Feels like a couple lifetimes ago, but yes, that is what I went to school for. Yeah.
And how did that change happen? What happened to make you either give up or move on from
Well,
photography?
It wasn't a giving up. It was I went to school for photography and for specifically portraits and weddings.
Okay.
So I used to do a lot of that. Then I had kids, and I realized I couldn't do photography and raising kids and do a good job at both because I was half-assing everything. So I thought, all right, I'll whole-ass the, that's sounding weird. That's not the right phrasing.
But we get it. We get it.
The,
Yeah.
parenting and take care of the kids, and then when they got a little older, I sort of didn't want to go back to the photography. It wasn't a good fit anymore, and I messed around with a couple different forms of art and settled on painting.
So it's just by chance.
Yeah, it's actually the way that I first started doing it was during the pandemic. My husband and I were looking for a fun, like, at-home date night. So we decided to do painting. He's also an artist who makes video games. And we were like, okay, what can we do for a fun date night? We'll do one of those, like, those sip and paint
Yeah,
nights
yeah,
that
yeah.
all the moms groups go to?
Yeah.
We're like, let's do that, except we'll do puff and paint night. So I did that, and I fell in love with it. Ordered a whole bunch of supplies online and threw myself into it.
So you just full on dived in. You did
Yeah.
one night of painting for fun, and you're like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, and then I ended up with so many canvases around the house that my husband was like, we either need to like build a second house for all your paintings, or you need to start selling these.
Oh, so the husband's a little bit of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's supportive of the entrepreneurial spirit. Let's say that.
Okay, I love that. And you do abstract art.
Yeah, abstract expressionist specifically.
So you went from portrait photography to like polar opposites. Like the truth, polar opposites. Because portraits are like, let's see the subject, capture them in their essence and realness, into capturing emotions, the world, your thoughts.
Yeah, it went from very, just I don't know the word to use, but other than abstract, there's no other better word.
Yeah, well, it's the correct word.
Just all the thoughts and emotions, and I always found it more powerful than something that you can look at and see, oh, this is that, and this you can't. You have to really look at it 100 times, and you see something different each time.
Okay, so let's rewind. You went from portrait photography in weddings, which is, by the way, I was a pastry chef and I did wedding cakes. Ooh.
Weddings are so stressful.
Right?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do wedding. I mean, having my own wedding was enough weddings for me.
Is there these expectations and this stress and all this turmoil that's happening that's not yours?
It's just the one day too, and
Yeah.
if you mess it up, that's it.
And then you went to exploring the complete opposite. So, and often when people think about abstract art, they go, oh, I'm not going to get it. They go, oh, I don't understand it. Or, oh, well, it doesn't make sense to me. Or they're just doing whatever on the canvas. It's not actually art. But people say that because they don't understand paint, or they don't understand that you can just enjoy something without having to understand it, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might appreciate that it's good, but still not like it. And sometimes you might like it, but not know why. And that's kind of my favorite thing. My goal is to make someone have an emotion, to feel something. I got into painting as therapy for myself, and sort of to give myself space, to hold space for myself as I was going through whatever different things in my life. And so what I want is for that to be the same thing for someone else when they look at it, to have that time to think through, because you do have to really stare at it to understand it, to get inside it. And it gives you time to get inside your own head a little bit, but help you navigate that.
And when you're creating your pieces, is it more of like, today I'm going to paint, and then you explore how you're feeling, or do you paint when you have something that you want to express?
That's a good question. I would paint every day. If I had the space, I would love to paint every day. It's my favorite thing. But it definitely, part of the process is getting into that painting mindset. So it takes a lot of, I get the music right, I get the ambience right, I read poetry to get into it, listen to a lot of songs with lyrics that speak to me, and then sort of let myself go, and then get into the painting.
So you see, that was another point I wanted to get to, because was it only as an artist, or is that the type of colors that you're attracted to? What makes you pick that palette?
Well, I tend to go through phases.
Yeah.
I think with this one of the interesting things, for a while I noticed I was picking the same colors as things I had around my house.
Okay.
So like the green is the color of my front door, the pink is the color of the vanity in the bathroom. So just the colors that are around me sort of influence the colors that I use a lot of times.
So there's a piece of familiarity with what you're creating with then.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, because a lot of artists will tell me like, oh, I went through a phase of blues because I traveled to Greece, and now blue is everywhere. But you're just drawing in from your, when we say in French, your quotidien, your day-to-day life,
Sure.
and bringing it into your art that is exploring emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a little bit telling about what you're processing as a person, that you're bringing your like day-to-day life into channeling of these emotions?
I don't know. I have to give that one some thought.
Right? Sorry, I'm asking big questions because
Yeah.
I love abstract art. I love weird art. I said it all week. I'm really into the weirder it is, the more I'm likely to show up at the gallery. Like, yes, let's experience this together. Because, like you said, it's the unexpected. I don't know. When I'm going to see, for example, a photography of architecture, I know I'm going to see photography of architecture, which is fabulous and phenomenal. When I go to see abstract art, I don't know what I'm going to get out of it.
Sure.
I could see the painting in a catalog. When I'm confronted with the piece in person, the dimensions of it, the way it's lit, the way the colors appear, is completely different in person.
Yeah, it's hard to portray something that's on a scale like this. This piece is 48 inches by 48. It's hard to show that on Instagram. Like, you don't get the same sense on the tiny little phone screen as you do when you stand in front of it. So that's why I was so excited to get to bring my work this week and sort of give people a chance to really see it in the light that it's meant to be seen in.
Absolutely, and this is your first exposition ever.
Yes.
How has it been to be confronted with people's reaction as they just walk by your art? Has it been challenging to like not jump in, or?
It's definitely, I'm trying to find that balance between wanting to encourage people to ask questions, but of course the language issue is there for me too, and we need not mention that. But it's sometimes, especially with abstract, you sort of have to give people a minute to get their own sense of it before I jump in and say, oh, this is what I was thinking when I made this. Because sometimes it doesn't. Someone could see it and get something completely different than what I did when I created it.
And is that something you're comfortable with? If people have a completely opposite, even sometimes opposite perception of your piece, are you at peace with that?
Absolutely, because I think it's the creation of the piece is the part that's mine. Once it's made, once the person who's meant to have that painting finds it, that's theirs now, and it's part of their story. My part of the story is finished at that point.
Do you still find it interesting to share with the person what your perception was, or do you feel like that might change how they feel about the piece?
I mean, if they're interested in finding out what I thought, I absolutely will share what my take on it is. But yeah, it can't mean the same thing to any two people. It really doesn't. So.
And what would you say to somebody that's walking around and art galleries can feel very imposing. Abstract art can feel alienated for someone that doesn't know a lot about the world of art. That maybe might feel like, hey, this is not for me, or I don't understand it, so I won't look at it. What would you say to someone that's like, oh, like, should I come see your pieces? Like, oh, I don't understand it, I feel silly.
Yeah, I don't think you need to understand abstract art. I don't think anyone really understands art. I think it's just, if it speaks to you, like if you see something in it that you like, it might remind you of something. It might be the color, it might be a shape, you might see a figure in it. But I don't think there's no wrong way to look at it. I mean, don't tell me that your kid could have done it, because that's a little insulting. But
there is some technique that goes beyond just, closing your eyes and willfully hoping that it looks amazing. And we touched base when we first started talking together about that you started your career as an artist in photography. That's your official training. Do you have any training when it comes to painting other than doing your paint night?
No, well, I took a couple online classes to sort of start learning how paint works, and I've done a lot of reading, a lot of self-study. Studied with some local artists to get my mindset right. So that's been fun. She's actually here now. Shout out.
We love collaborating with other artists. That's how we all grow, right? We all get something out of collaboration. So.
Yeah, so just little pieces from here and there, and just looking at a lot of art and just immersing myself in it, pretty much.
And how would you say, again, touching base on the photography side, how would you say that your background as a photographer has influenced the way that you perceive painting?
I think one of the big things that I took from photography school was really just how to look at things. So not only the physical things, like how to see the way the light falls, the way shadows work, but also just how to look at something that looks ordinary and be able to look at it in a new light and give it different meaning depending on how you look at something and from what angle, and I use that a lot when I'm painting.
So you're not the type of person that just leaves the thing in one position. Do you turn your canvas around while you're painting?
I don't.
How wild do you get?
I just move around it a lot and just study it a lot of times. And sometimes I'll just stand and look at something for a few hours and not even touch it, and just trying to figure out what the next move is.
Okay, so there's a lot of contemplation when it comes to your pieces, and it's not just introspection. It's really physically staring at your painting and trying to see what speaks to you.
Sure, yeah, there's actually a couple different parts to it. There's usually the initial shapes that I get out on the canvas to get the first emotion, and then I'll step back and do a more analytical take on it. And sometimes it just, I don't plan my paintings ahead of time. I do it in an intuitive style.
Yeah.
So it's just as it speaks to me. It sounds really hooey, but
no, to some it might, but it makes sense, right? It's like sometimes you don't feel like cooking, but you have to eat anyways, and sometimes you plan an elaborate meal, like same type of thing. But since you do intuitive painting, do you find yourself sometimes creating multiple pieces at once, where you're like, oh, I'm really feeling this piece that I'm channeling anger through, but today I'm really calm, so I can't work on it, so I'll start something else? Or do you really focus one piece at a time so you can channel your energy?
I do usually. You do one thing from start to finish, but sometimes I'll work on multiple pieces simultaneously. So this one is a larger-ish piece, so I did this one by itself, but some of my other pieces, I'll have a series of 6 20 by 40 pieces, and I did all of those at the same time, all the canvases around me.
Oh, wow.
And did all 6 at the same time. So yes and no, I do one at a time, but I also do multiples.
Yeah, it depends on what the project is, I'm guessing, right? And how it calls to you.
It does vary, for sure.
So when you're doing a series, for example, like that, are you trying to make them all coordinate? Are you trying to explore something? Are you forcing yourself to explore something different on each one of them? What was the process for this specific piece where you did 6 at once?
That one, I can't remember now.
That's fair, though. We do a lot, right?
Because a lot of times it's just, like I said, I'm very influenced by music, so I'll put on music and I'll almost I'll dance.
I love that.
And I'll do that, and that's sort of how the paint gets out on there, and then step back and pull it together from there. And I try to vary it in between. Sometimes one will speak to the other. Sometimes I'll rearrange the order that they're in to get the different shapes, but they work alone, and then they work also as a set. So.
I love that. So I challenge you with some very tough questions about your pieces that you probably weren't ready for, because I'm very inquisitive and I like to know every little thing about people.
I love that. I may not know what to say, but I love being asked.
Good, because I'm genuinely curious. But now I want to know, so this is your first festival. Where are you in the festival?
I am in booth 2.
So
just down the corner, second booth in. So.
Amazing. And did you bring multiple pieces with you?
Yes, I mean not here.
No.
But I probably have 60 paintings in my booth.
What?
Yeah.
60 paintings?
They're not all that big.
Okay, I was gonna say, how big is your booth?
I've got three really big ones, like another one that size, another one twice that size, and the rest smaller ones. Yeah.
I hope so. Otherwise, they give you the whole corner.
I'm prolific. What can
That's
I say?
great. We like that. We like that. And are they all this type, or do you have different styles that you brought with you? Like,
most of the ones that I brought are similar styles to this. This was the style I was working in over the winter mostly. So that was what I had on hand. And I have some prints also of a slightly different style that I worked on last year.
So what was the difference between what you did this year and what you did last year?
I got bigger this year, and I narrowed down my color palette. So I was a lot more sort of scattershot all over the place, just a lot of mark making last year, because I was just learning how to use a paintbrush, how does paint go onto a canvas, and then sort of refined it since then.
So you feel like it got more technical this year, if I understood what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think it got stronger.
Stronger?
Yeah.
We love that. We love getting stronger. And do you feel like, you're painting every day, you said?
If I can.
If you can.
I can. I had to stop because I literally have no more space in my house.
So people, go buy some paintings.
Yeah.
That's the moral of this story,
Nothing
right?
out here.
And have you found that you've already evolved past this color palette, past these techniques?
I actually have been working on a newer series just last month. Like on my Instagram, I've moved into a slightly different color palette. Again, less blues, I think I have in my new stuff. But
And speaking of your Instagram, what is your Instagram account?
it's Amanda Jean. So if you search up Amanda Jean,
We'll find you.
Yep.
Amazing, I love that. And you're at booth number 2. See, my brain is fried.
It's okay, I can barely remember.
Like,
myself.
this is early for me right now, okay? I usually get up at, like, late. But I am so happy to be here with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for meeting with me. Do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to throw out there? Is there something I didn't ask you about that you'd like to share?
No, I don't think so.
We covered everything that you can think of right now.
I think that was a pretty stellar first interview.
I think you did a great job indeed. And if people have questions, they can come chat with you. You're comfortable with that?
Absolutely, yeah. You can speak to me in French. I'll understand about a third of it.
So the trick there is to speak really fast and say twice as much as you wanted to. That way you'll get a third, right?
Or speak really slow.
Oh, okay, that
Like
makes
I'm a
sense.
child.
That makes sense. Well, Amanda Jean, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And enjoy your festival.
Thanks, you too.
Yay!